first.
Okay.
So basically, by the one here, I'm looking at cycle number 1. So I can scroll through. I got cycle number 2, cycle number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're back at 1. For instance, we'll go through like a fake print, setting up a fake job basically. So for instance, a lot of times I'll print white on head 1. We'll want to flash on head 2. We'll turn this cycle on because we want to use it. And maybe that's my first cycle. Maybe I come through on cycle number 2. I want to do another hit of that white. I want to flash on head 2 again. We're dry. Now I can hit another color over here if I wanted. Turn that cycle on. Come back around. That 7's wet, so maybe I need to flash again. I can do another color on 6. We can keep loading them up if I want to. So flash, print,
Yeah.
Flash. But remember, we said that we have
3
problems here on 3. So ideally, what we want to do is just flash maybe, and then don't flash and come through and do 3.
All right.
So then you give it a whole rotation to cool down, and then try to mess with that.
Nice.
So if I were going to use 3, that's how I would do it. That's how cycle mode's basically set up. You still have 1 extra cycle to play with if you want to doing it this way, and that's using every single head and head number 1 twice. Once I have it set up the way I want it, you want to hit this reset button twice. That tells the machine, forget what you were doing, forget anything you knew, learn what I got here. So if I were to stop in the middle of a cycle or something, I want to start at the beginning, I would also use that reset button to say, hey, forget what was going on, start fresh, learn this. So that's basically how that reset button works.
So the reset button on the cycle screen is different from the reset on the bottom left,
Correct.
because that will reset all
That
of your cycles.
resets
That'll
the
wipe out
machine
everything.
and stuff if you have an error.
Yeah.
Or
So that's
something.
gonna So if we do bump the
I mean,
bar
if
halfway
I
in the
hit
run,
this does nothing right now.
yeah. But if
I don't have an error.
we're in the middle of a run in a 7 cycle system, and we bump the bar and we got to start over, we're reprogramming the cycle settings.
If you did that, you'd have an error first.
Okay.
So you'd hit it while it was running. You'd get an error up here.
Got
You'd
it.
have to close it. I'd have to reset here to fix that error.
Yeah.
It would automatically take all my shirts off.
Yes.
I now would have to most likely figure out what's done and what's not done here.
Yeah.
Maybe test print some of these just to get them off and done properly. Maybe reload the entire set and then come in here and say, hey, start from the beginning.
So test print allows you to, if there's 3 shirts on there and I need to finish these up, I can do these one at a time to
You
finish
can
them up as a
test print
print.
just this palette all the way around, telling
Yeah.
you what you want to do if you revert back to step back mode instead of
Yeah.
using cycle mode, and you can do it that way. Or a lot of people will like take this palette if it knows it needs this color, come over, just test print this
Just test
color,
print, move it
make
along.
sure it looks good. If I need to flash and do another color, do it, and get this thing off and
Yeah.
out of here. Make
Okay.
it sure it looks right. Make sure you can still salvage it. Get it off the press and get yourself to a good starting point.
Yeah.
Some people will figure like, oh, all my palettes are done through cycle 2 or something. Or maybe I just need to test print this one and then I'm done through cycle 2. So you could always turn off the first 2 cycles in here, hit that reset button to learn the new setup you've got set up, and just run 3 through 7 or something like that. Get them
Finish
off,
the order,
get them
and then-
off,
then go
and
ahead and
then turn them back on and
get it
start
on again. Okay.
from the beginning. So there's a few different ways you go about it if you did something like that. Me personally, I'd probably just try to test print them as best as possible, get them off, so that way I'm happy with what's here. You're gonna find less mistakes that way.
I think that's the big thing for us. Is like if everything's running perfectly, we're not having an issue. We're not going to have a problem. But what do we do when we
Shit
get
comes off the
halfway?
rails, it's like,
how do we salvage what we got to do?
how
And
do
that's
I-
the big
how
thing.
do
that
I,
we're
like,
doing
I
this.
mean, as
Sword
long
and
as
ma-
you've got enough tack, like I was saying,
Yeah.
I could take this and hit it 100 times over here,
Right,
hit it
right.
100 times over
Yeah.
there, flash it in between. It's gonna be just as fast as doing
Right.
it here.
Yeah.
So you can stop and you can be like, all right.
Oh, shit, there's not enough green on 5
What
with
do
10,
each?
you know?
What do each of these need?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
you can
fill
like
the ink
finish
back
up.
up, come back, test print all
Okay.
the greens,
So, yeah.
get them off.
Sweet.
As long,
All
So
right.
you can
as long
finish
as you've
up.
got enough ink glue on here to hold it in place.
Yeah.
Once
Well,
that shirt moves, it's over. But as long as
Right.
that shirt stayed in that position, I could come through and hit that test button on the head 100 times, and
And just finish up.
I could
What's-
flash 100 times, whatever
Yeah.
I want to do.
Similar
even,
to-
if, even
yeah.
if this one's different than this one and this one, whatever, wherever they're at, you can look at it and half manually finish each shirt that's on the pallet.
Yep.
Okay.
Similar to embroidery, like when one head slows down or the thread break, you can turn them all off, rewind,
Yeah.
catch up on
You don't
one,
have to lose that.
and then it's
item.
not done.
You
So let's go back to the beginning. So say you're setting this up and you have a lot of steps, and you're like, I want to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So you start back at 1 and you're like, oh shit, I should do this instead. And then you change it. Do
Yeah.
you hit reset again twice
If you
to
change
reprogram
it, you have to reprogram it and it'll automatically
beginning?
start at the beginning.
Yeah, so I'm going through, I'm like, that looks good. Oh shit, I should do it on 6 instead of 7. And then you just do that and that's it, and then it's
Yep.
good.
All right. Wait, no. Don't you have to reprogram the whole cycle, or you can do it in each step? Okay.
That's gonna get all the cycles all at once.
Okay.
And then how do you clear it?
You just unclick each one.
That's it? You gotta
Or you
go
can,
back
well, you
through
can just go,
manually
if we're not
do
gonna do it, we can just go power off.
Correct.
And frankly, we could even go back to setup 997 under here. We could turn
Correct.
off the cycle, and it eliminates cycle from it and goes
And it
just
would
into
still
step
be
back
set up
mode.
the way it was if you want to
Yeah.
go back into it later, like if you run
Yeah,
that
now
job
we're back
next
to it
week or
again.
something.
So so then you just have to actually go through
Correct.
each one and do.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, were you gonna run it? Sorry.
No.
Oh, okay.
Now in these
And then
cases,
you hit it
say,
again, and it's at square one.
well, for example, say, right, because right now it's actually still on 3.
Correct.
But
it's
we just
not
could have
doing
killed it.
anything.
Yeah, if we had this on there, and
You could do it that either
you know,
way. yeah.
theoretically, like, oh shoot, I should, you know what, I could just turn off 3 and it'll skip 3.
Theoretically, yeah.
It would just move on to number 4.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Okay, we'll see if it works.
That's what it's supposed to do.
So
It's an early version. I don't know whether it does what it's
Yeah.
supposed to do, but yeah, that's what it's
Well,
supposed
that seems
to
like that could be a real glitch. You know, if you had 2 on, didn't turn the third one on, didn't turn the third one on, and moved on to 4, you could see where that would want to lock up.
head number 3 is what a lot of people use for a cool down. And you just literally program in a cooldown as a
program
step.
it to not
Don't
use
do
it.
anything.
Okay.
But you do leave it in there, and it'll still make a round.
If you'd have to have the cycle on as
Yeah.
doing zeroed out
So
for
like,
everything.
yeah. So he said he
Yeah.
wanted to do 3 as a cooldown. You click it on with nothing. and
Yeah,
then it'll
we
go
really want the
around
whole thing to
and
go
then
around
on the next one.
if it needed it. It's an
Yeah.
awful long cooldown, but yeah.
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 Oh no, I mean head number 3.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
what you meant.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So what? So if I want to use one of the steps in my cycle as a cooldown, would I have to hit it or just,
Oh, no.
or just leave it?
No, head 3 right after the flash talking about printing on hot.
Mhm.
Ideally, we wouldn't want to ever use 3. 3 will be the least used head we ever have.
Right.
Because we're never going to want to put ink after it. But if we're forced to a point where we've got to use all the heads and use 3, then you would want to flash and then go all the way around and then go and print on 3.
Right. I'm talking about.
That's what he means as a cooldown. It's just the time waiting
Well,
till the next
cooldown
cycle.
would basically just mean to skip it.
Yeah.
We just never use it.
Yeah,
That's why he made it all the way to 7.
but wouldn't it? Okay. Wouldn't it still put if you need a break in your print cycle? Because I saw one of the cycle settings you actually hit number 3 as a cooldown.
No, I was printing 3 after.
Oh, you're
cooling
printing
down.
3 after.
Yeah.
cooling.
After you
Okay.
went around one cycle to
All
then
right.
cool.
Gotcha,
Because you didn't want to go
gotcha.
flash, print immediately. You just
Yeah.
went flash, you want to go 8 around and then print 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right.
And that's what I'll do at trade shows and stuff